So you're probably wondering, what in tarnation is this? So I'll tell you. This is a exhaust CO2 to oxygen changer or transformer, or I never settled on what type of word to use to change it. But so the whole goal of this is to be able to attach this to an exhaust pipe, and then right here would change the CO2 that is produced by the car to oxygen to hopefully lower the carbon footprint of cars. Here is where we get into the very futuristic and hypothetical part of the month. But it is theoretically possible. So first off, we'll look at this thing right here. So this red would be a metal that can withstand a high amount of heat. There are so many different materials that actually can do that. That's not the problem. So, and obviously you have these little spaces here so that you can close it and open it depending on the size of the exhaust you're trying to put it over, and then these actually fit in between them so that you can put it in the little lips and then bolt it together in the little slit so you could put it down even farther and be able to give it a stronger hold, and it hopefully wouldn't bounce off as much, and be able to get it on there as much as possible. But back to this. So this green part is, so there's two ways I thought about going about this. So the first way would be this green would actually be red. And so it would be red. And then the holes would be where you would add the things to change the CO2 to oxygen. So the one I found that I thought would be the best, because when I first thought of this idea, I was like, oh, we'll just take out the photosynthesizing parts of plants and put that into here, and then it will just quickly change it over. But then photosynthesis needs light from the sun and energy from the sun, and under a car you don't normally get that, so I could not do that. So then I did some more research and came across algae. Turns out you can engineer algae to be able to do specific things. So in this theoretical world, you would be able to put a film of heat-resistant algae that changes CO2 to oxygen, and put the layer, it would probably be inside the metal. Like there would be a spot where you can like attach this back on and put films of this through there so that it changes it, and then the CO2 or the like all the other stuff goes through these holes. But then I realized there is a lot of stuff that comes out of the exhaust pipe, and to only limit it to these very small holes might be detrimental. So that is why it was green, because the other idea was to make the whole side this engineered algae, and then you still leave the holes for the other stuff to pass through, because you wouldn't be able to get 100% of the CO2. But it would allow for there to be ways to pass through, but you can also pass through the algae. It's just that's how it kind of catches the CO2. So you'd be able to, the thing is hypothetical, but make a heat resistant sphere-ish? No, not a sphere, sorry. Circle, and be able to attach it to the exhaust like attachment. And so then you would replace this, like, I don't know how strong it would be, but like probably like maybe like once every month. So you get 12 a year, you replace it, and it changes 50% of the CO2 to oxygen. Then it's like, then it cuts down that person's CO2 or that carbon footprint by half for their car. Not that big of a step, but if you have every single person do that, that could be a huge change. So the main thing is the heat coming out of the exhaust melting and burning and this algae not being able to hold up. And second off is if it's not able to change the CO2 to oxygen quick enough, that it either doesn't work or it's getting like 1% of the carbon to oxygen ratio, which still is something, but the goal is to kind of cut it back a lot. So then the other thought I had was if you were able to take the same algae but spray it in like a spray or put it in a metal, that you would be able to change the exhaust pipes to this algae thing. And so the inside coating of these exhaust pipes would be this algae or the spray that you put on, so that it still is in there, but it's not blocking it off like this would. It's just along it, so it just would like not like randomly, but kind of randomly pick up the CO2 and turn it into oxygen. Like, so there's kind of a lot of ways you can go about it, especially if you made this algae. But the whole point is creating this algae would take a lot of time and a lot of skill that would possibly be a game changer, and that would be cool. So that's my little spiel for this product. The other, not really to do with this exhaust pipe thing, but to do with the algae, is if there was a way to engineer algae that ate plastic. So you would be able to put it in the oceans and it would go and eat the plastic, and then the like excrete or whatever the algae like produces after eating it was something beneficial to the ocean. That would be cool. I don't know how that would work, but it would take not all of it, a bunch of the ocean's plastic out of the way. The only problem is buoys, possibly, like the plastic coating over top. Some of the boats, possibly. Like, it could be bad, but it also could be good. There's pros and cons of everything. So that's just one idea I did have that I thought could be cool. But again, I don't know. It's kind of all up in the air. I don't know much about the algae field, so I don't know what actually is possible. But there's my idea. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think this will work. Do you? Alright, goodbye.